Hey, welcome to this guide where I'm going to show you how you can integrate the nice settings menu in your project. First of all, go to the Epic Games Launcher and just add it to your project. If it says anything about that nice settings menu files are already existing in your project and you should overwrite or replace them, then just do that. In your project, in the content folder, you should now see the nice settings menu folder. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can integrate the nice settings menu in the third-person template, and then you should be able to follow the same steps for your individual project. First of all, go to the map where you want to integrate the settings menu, and there go to the world settings. If you cannot see this tab, then just enabling them here. Scroll a bit down to the game mode and check here which player controller class you have selected here. If it is only this default player controller, then that means that you don't have your own custom player controller class yet selected. If you have already there your own custom player controller class, that's fine, then you can just do the integration in there. If not, as I have it here now, then you need to create a new one. I will just leave it for this tutorial at this new player controller as a name. And checking back here that it is selected. If you cannot select anything here, then you also need to create a new game mode before. Going to this player controller, click here on add and search for settings and add the ACPC nice settings component. Compile and save. Then go back here to the nice settings menu folder, demo and blueprints, and open here the demo nice settings PC. Here we'll see probably some errors. You can ignore them since it's for the old input system and since we're not using this player controller. What you need to do is copy this in here. So I'm selecting this, holding down Shift to additionally copying this here. So basically copy these two comment boxes. Control C. Going to your player controller to the event graph and add it in here. This down here is for the navigation within the settings menu or pause menu. So the navigation if you want to use only the keyboard or gamepad controller, if you don't want to use the mouse. Yeah, we can have that in here. And this here is for the pause menu. That's also optionally if you want to use actually the pause menu or only the settings menu, because the pause menu includes the settings menu. Yeah, you can have this here depending on whether you want to use the pause menu or not. Here the next step is to make sure that the pause menu or the settings menu is actually rendered in your game UI. If you have already a game UI, then you can just add the pause menu widget or the settings menu widget in there, and that should already be enough. If you don't have a game UI, I also show you the step to create a new game UI. So I'm going here to the content browser, clicking on user interface, widget blueprint, creating a new user widget, calling this WB underscore, let's say, game UI, opening this. Yeah, it should already be enough to only add there the settings or pause menu. I will just also add an overlay so you have the chance to add also more widgets later on. I'm going now here, searching for the pause menu, going here with T1, so the theme 1, where you can choose whatever you like. Adding this here, making this fill horizontally and vertically. Then don't need the game UI for this tutorial anymore. Close this. In your player controller, I'm adding a new event begin play. If you have already an event begin play in use, that's fine. Just make sure to execute the following stuff somewhere at event begin play of your player controller. Since the game UI is something that is only relevant for the local player, you need to create here a new branch for the condition search for is is local player controller. Connect this here. Here I'm creating a widget and choosing for this one the game UI we've just created. Adding this here to the viewport. And I guess if you want to have, or if it is for a pause menu, then you always, if you have opened it, you always want to have it at the very top. And to prevent any blockings, UI blocks there with your other UI that you're using, just make sure to choose here in high Z order, for example, 20, but make sure that it is below 99, because there's also the FPS counter that probably should be at the very, very top. So also same in your game UI, just opening there, just make sure if you're having other stuff in here, I put now everything in the overlay, just make sure that this is in the hierarchy higher to also prevent any UI blocks in there. So then if I'm playing now, you can see here, I can press P, enter the pause menu, can also control it with my keyboard and also with my controller or gamepad. This volume here, just check out the documentation, how you can set that up with your sounds. That's pretty easy. Yeah, you can see here stuff like the FOV, you can already adjust. If you have the bug that your FOV is at the very beginning at 0, then you might contact me on Discord or just remove the FOV setting here. And for the key mapping, this is not directly now working with this third-person character here, because that's a different mapping context here. If you're using enhanced input, if you're using the old input system still, yeah, in both cases, just check the documentation for key mapping or remapping. Yeah, for the resolution settings and window mode, that's only working if you're playing it standalone. And yeah, if I'm closing now the game, then I can see here these arrows. That is only a thing for happening in 5.3 or maybe later, I don't know yet. But don't worry, if you're going to the edit project settings, then you can search here for user settings and just enable the user settings in here, and then the arrows are away. So this is an experimental feature. I tested it and it worked in a packaged game. Everything was fine. And the thing is, it's a bit weird. You have actually to use this experimental feature. You're forced to do that if you want to be able to do key remapping for the enhanced input system. In 5.2, there was a different way, but in 5.3, this way didn't work anymore. And they said, the compiler said that you have to use the user settings to do key remapping. So that's weird, but you have to use this experimental feature. And if you play now, then and exit the game, then you don't have any errors anymore. Another thing is, or if you have any other errors saying to you that certain text references are not valid or so, then just close the project and open it again. So do a restart of your project. If you then still have the errors, then of course contact me on Discord and I will give you support and help you. And finally, one small last thing. If you're not like here, where you're in this game mode without the mouse cursor, if you are always, or if your game always uses a mouse cursor, and then you enter the pause menu and you exit it again, then here the mouse cursor gets hidden. And if you want to prevent that, then just check also the documentation. There will have a page, I will call it like mouse cursor input or so. Yeah, just check the documentation about that in that case. But yeah, that was the guide to do the integration of the settings menu in your project. If you have any questions left or anything is not working, please contact me on Discord, you get support. And yeah, thank you for watching.